Hello, thank you for bringing me into your space. This little video is just a tutorial to enhance, to create, and help train the body to move fluidly through gait. And with fluid movement in gait, of course, we allow our bodies to create sort of that natural flow that allows for internal and external movement, giving rise to all of the benefits of good posture and movement from the inside out, which our lung capacity grows, our bodies are able to heal and deal better, less pain, less chronic pain, less injury, better digestion, our heart beats better. Everything is just a little more efficient and such. So without further ado, 3 exercises coming at you for the betterment of your gait cycle, the betterment of your walking here, there, and everywhere in this life, so you can really enjoy the journey. So you're going to want a mat and a chair maybe. I think that might be it. You might like some pillows, some blankets if you're on a hard surface and you need a little extra cushion. If you've got any low back issues, a pillow underneath the hip crease might be helpful as well, but not necessary. And yeah, let's begin. So our first exercise is the swag assimilator. I've coined it as. And so you're just going to come down onto your belly. I'm going to get rid of my scarf for this. Okay, so you're coming onto your belly, and you're going to bring your hands palms face down. Okay, palms face down. Your forehead is going to rest. So both the fingertips are sort of just touching the long fingers of each hand, or touching each other, and your forehead is resting there. All right, so let's start beginning by lifting the right upper quadrant. So we're going to lift the right hand, the head straight up, the right hand, the right elbow, the right shoulder reach up towards the sky. Just let the gaze be soft here. And just take a notice, sort of the area of the body that's working. First, notice sort of what's happening in that right upper quadrant, and then notice any recruiting that's happening on the left side, and the hips, right side, left side, and then just relax down. And then we're going to try that again. So we're going to pick up the elbow, the hand, and the head, and this time I really want you to squeeze the shoulder blade, that you're pulling it down to the opposite pocket. Yeah, it's a big squeeze, and then release. Nice, and then we'll try the left side. So again, forehead resting on the fingertips. We're going to all together lift the head, the left hand, the left elbow, the left shoulder, and imagine you're dragging that shoulder down to the opposite hip pocket. The right hand is just resting. Try not to press down into the earth to lift the body more. Try and allow, the goal is to allow that left side to do the work. And just notice the difference from one side to the other, and then just drop and relax. And again, try lifting the head, the hand, the shoulder, and the elbow all together. Strong, deliberate contraction, dragging the shoulder blade to the opposite hip pocket. Breathing, releasing any recruiting in that right hand, and release down. And then the lower body, so we'll take that left leg, and we're going to straight leg, lift the heel or the toes all the way up to the sky, and then imagine you're pulling the left gluteus maximus, glute muscles, to the shoulder on the opposite side, so to the right shoulder. Nice, and then just lower it down. And just notice the warmth that's come into the body in those areas that we've just contracted. And And then again, so lifting left foot, straight leg, right up to the sky, and then drag if you can. Imagine or do, imagining is just as good as doing, we're building the pathways, the left glute to the right shoulder blade, and then back down. Nice. And then the same thing on the other side. So lifting straight leg, this time the right leg, straight up to the sky. Notice the difference from this side to the other side. There's probably some sensational differences, and note them, love them, accept them, and so you can move forward with them. All right, and then drop it down nice and slow. And then once again, just noticing the areas from this side to the other side that may be different or might be the same. And lifting the leg once more. Straight leg, pointed toe up towards the sky. It doesn't have to be overly pointed, just sort of pointed naturally. And then imagine you're dragging that hip to the opposite, to the left shoulder blade. Nice, and then relax them down. All right, so we're going to put these movements together now. And again, we're going to be opposite upper body to lower body. So raising with the fingertips against the forehead, the head, the right hand, elbow and shoulder reach up, squeezing the shoulder blade towards the left hip pocket, and then squeezing the straight leg of the straight leg lift, and the glute of that left glute is going to squeeze to the opposite side, squeezing like you're pulling those 2 points together, really strong, relinquishing any muscle energy from that left hand, release down. And once more on the other side, so lifting the right leg, left hand, elbow, shoulder, squeezing shoulder blade down, noticing that right hand is just resting peacefully there, right hip dragging towards the left shoulder blade, left shoulder blade dragging towards the right hip, and then release and down. All right, so that's just sort of finding your way there, and now we're going to put them together. So the movement pattern should be done sort of, you should individually, or as you grow the communication between these areas, and certainly the brain coordination. You don't need to do that individual so much, but you can go right into the simulated swagger. So here we go. Hands palm face down, fingertips touching each other, forehead resting on the hands, and we're going to fluid-like lift right hand, elbow, shoulder, left hip rises, squeezing those 2 points together, release and drop down, finding the breath, allowing the breath to flow freely. Left hand, elbow, shoulder raise up, right hip with straight legs, squeezing those 2 points towards each other, and relax back down. And again, right hand, elbow, shoulder, left hip reach towards each other, and release back down. And left hand, elbow, shoulder, reach towards the right hip reaches towards the left shoulder, and down. And then a little quicker, right upper body, left lower body, reach together, and left upper body, right lower body, reach together, and a couple of times through, maybe working towards 20 or 30 repetitions, back and forth a few times, encouraging strength and coordination and communication between these necessary sling-like muscles and fascia that help support us and bring ease and fluidity to our gait, and stability, and allowing those muscles to engage. These are sort of phasic muscles. They tend to sort of go to sleep and get long, and when they're stressed, or we're encouraging them to wake up and squeeze them and release them, bringing fresh blood and communication. And just relax back down. Beautiful. And if it feels right, you can press the body up. Whatever you really want to do here, if it's part of your morning routine, just add it in. somewhere. Coming into a nice child's pose always feels good. All right, and then we're going to come all the way up onto either our chair or the ground. So I'm going to show you the chair variation first and then the ground. So in the chair, you just want your feet planted flat on the floor. Okay, and if you can't reach the floor, then certainly bring some blocks underneath the feet, okay, so that they are planted. And we're going to take our hands onto the headlights of the hips, okay? So headlights of the hips are those two bony prominences at the top of the hip. If you can't find them, just sort of find that big hip crest and then bring the fingertips sort of around into the front, and you should feel those two bony prominences. Even with the hands just up on the crest with the sort of the crook of the love fingers, the thumb and the pinky finger, no, Peter pointer, you're going to bring those and sort of hook them around the crest of the hips there, okay? So what this looks like, this is called sit bone walking. And what we're going to do is we're walking with our sit bones. So we're ambulating, we're creating a sort of a wave, like the natural wave-like undulation that happens to the spine. That's what we're recreating here. And again, laying down the pathways, retraining the muscles. This is what we want you to do as we move through our day, so we can move through ease, supported, and feeling really pleasure in movement. Okay, so here we go. So all we do is we'll start with the left hip, we're going to bring it up, and we're going to walk it forward towards the front of the chair seat. And then we're going to take the right hip, and we're going to drag it up. We're going to use the muscles of our core really to drag that right hip up and place it down a little bit further in front of the left. And then picking the left hip up. Notice you're shifting over to the right as you pick the left hip up and drag it to the front of the chair and drop it down. And you're going to feel the hip rise up and down, up and down. And then the right, you're going to rise up, shifting and dragging it forward. And again, just like before, we're going to try not to press the opposite leg into the ground. We're going to really want all the muscle energy, all the work to really come from that upper body. All right, and then we're going to go backwards. So bringing the left hip up and back, shifting over to the right, shifting over to the left, drag the right hip up and back. Nice. So just a couple of times up and back. And if we're going to do it on the floor, if it's part of your morning practice and you're able to come down to the floor, or afternoon or evening practice, it doesn't matter. So same thing, we're just going to bring the hands to the headlights, the hips, resting on the crest. And we're going to walk the sit bones all the way forward. Go for a little bit longer of a walk when we're on the ground, which is nice. And back. And really take notice and time to sense and feel, is there any clicking? What side is causing and recreating any symptoms or sensations that we've known that are familiar? And we get to sort of discern and help that guide us in how we use our practice to create a healthy, strong body that's flexible and strong, balanced. So back and forth a couple of times. And I guess I'll show you what that looks like from the back, because this is a great way to do it. And I'm actually going to bring my shirt up a little bit so you can see my spine moving as well. And so you just sort of walk one hip up, and then the other, and then again backwards, finding that nice rotation. Okay. All right. So finally, our last exercise can also be done from a chair or from the ground, and it's just a little bit of a range of motion, spinal movement. So we're going to take stance in a malasana, which is like a deep squat. If this is tough, resting on the heels, bringing some buoyancy underneath the heels, some height rather underneath the heels, like you can roll up your mat and bring the heels just underneath the heels. So the ball mounds are still on the ground, whatever is comfortable for you. I've got my knees spread wide. All right, so if this is available to you, fantastic. Taking Himalasana. This is a beautiful pose just for allowing a release of some of the muscles that are supporting us in that head forward carriage and that sitting in chairs and cars and all of those things all day long. Okay, so this is sort of a really great reprogramming reset for the hips and for the back. All right, and so the movement practice looks like this. We're going to bring our right hand down to the ground, and we're going to keep a hand on the heart and just reach, and actually let's bring it right across. So we're going to reach our left hand to our right shoulder, and we're just going to rotate. Nice. And then we can bring our hands to prayer if that feels right. Drop the left hand, right hand is on your left shoulder, and rotate. And just sort of notice what's happening in the body here. And then as we start to explore a little bit more, being mindful, left hand, right shoulder, right hand is down, rotating with the elbow. So I'm rotating with my left elbow, dragging it towards the upper corner of the wall, and then just pulling my knees apart, planting my feet in, evenly distributing my weight, even squeezing the glutes a little bit helps stabilizing the lower body and encouraging a beautiful twist into the spine. And again, bringing the hands to prayer, dropping the left hand, right hand comes to the left shoulder, leading with the elbow, reaching it up towards the upper corner of the wall behind you. Nice strong squeeze the glutes, planting the feet evenly distributing, and just simply coming back and forth a couple of times. Now, it's fine if you want to grow the movement and reach up as well. Just be mindful that you're not compromising any areas of the body that you could be relieving some sort of core restrictions, because often there's a lot of restrictions through the junction of the lumbar and the thoracic spine. Okay, so that's one variation, and the other variation would be from the chair. So chair variation, you're in a seated position with the legs nice and open, and here you could actually, just to encourage a little bit of that flexion and dropping of the pelvis, you could be having some height underneath the feet, so blocks or something like that. But otherwise, we're just going to simply open up the legs, strong stance, so that the feet are planted, and even squeeze the glutes a little bit. Again, just sort of creating balance and squareness in the hips. And then same idea, we're going to lead with the elbow. So left hand crosses the shoulder, and you can reach down towards the calf and find that twist and come forward into neutral. And then again, right hand, left shoulder, and then reach the left hand down the thigh and the lower leg, reaching with the elbow and coming back to neutral. And maybe you're just reaching to the knee, and that's fine too. All right, so wherever your body is allowing you to move to, we're going to cross the hand across the chest, grabbing hold the opposite shoulder, leading with the elbow, and letting the hand that's on the knee slide as far away as it wants to, planting the feet all the time, and squeezing the glutes slightly just to create that nice, stable, balanced body, offering a beautiful rotation to the spine. So spinal mechanics or spinal movement practice, so important for the health and wellness of our entire beings. This one I would probably perform, a round of 8 or 10 cycles through. and certainly be using the breath as a guide, and if possible, continue to listen and let the breath move freely through you. Wonderful. Once again, thank you for bringing me into your space. I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to hearing if after practicing these exercises for a few days, weeks maybe, if you can see improvement in your gait. So maybe take a video or have someone else sort of mind your gait, and then see in a few weeks if there's any benefit for you. And certainly you should be feeling it from the inside out. You know, more vitality, restful sleeps, just buoyancy in the body. Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Peace in, peace out.